Here we have finished, isn't it? We have finished that comparative statics. So just comparative static analysis is used to examine the change in the exogenous. We have previously discussed what is exogenous variable and what is endogenous variable. So let me know what you have you remembered what is exogenous variable? Anybody say raise your hand? What is exogenous variable and what is endogenous variable?
From exogenous variable where the value is fixed and endogenous variable where the value is to be determined.
Very good. So endogenous variables are the variables which have been determined, and exogenous are they are already given. They are already given for the system, or for that model we are considering. Okay. So under comparative static analysis, what we use, we see how is the impact of this exogenous variable changes the value of the endogenous variable. How the impact of the, when there is a change in the exogenous variable, how it affects the value of the endogenous variable. Suppose, for example, suppose you are having a situation where where the consumer is at equilibrium with the given income, given its taste, given the climate, given the prices of all other goods and services, and the price of the commodity itself. He wants how much he now already he have decided how much he has to consume. But suppose his income has been changed. So obviously, there will be change in the demand for the commodity, is not it? If there will be a change in any other variable, suppose there will be, besides the price, suppose there will be there will be a change in the income of the consumer. So obviously, the demand for the commodity will change. Suppose there will be taste for the commodity will also change, his taste will change. Then also there will be change. If suppose prices of some substitutes are also changing, then also the demand for the commodity will change. So if there is a change in the other variables, the demand for the commodity is also changing. So here other variables that we have assumed to be constant, when we have seen, but the demand, the consumer is at equilibrium. On a constant optimization problem, we have given the prices of the commodity and we have decided the income is given, and we have found out how much the consumer will purchase. How much the consumer will purchase. Now, always suppose I have already told you that we are assuming the relationship between demand and price to be inverse. When the price of the commodity increases, the demand for the commodity falls. And when the price of the commodity decreases, the demand for the commodity increases. Isn't it? We have already discussed. And for that reason, the demand curve, when we are showing it graphically, the demand curve slopes downward and the supply curve slopes upward. And we have already seen that when there is when we have dealing with the equilibrium analysis, we have seen that when the equilibrium will be attained when demand for commodity is equal to the supply of the commodity. This thing we have discussed. If demand will exceed supply, then there will be competition amongst the buyers to purchase the commodity, resulting from excess demand, and obviously the competition amongst the buyers will raise the price of the commodity, so it will result in increasing the supply of the commodity, and accordingly what will happen? The demand will fall and supply, and finally the equilibrium will be attained at the point where demand is equal to supply. Isn't it? Similarly, have we discussed these things, excess supply and excess demand?
We have discussed about the excess supply.
Not excess demand?
No, ma'am. Only excess supply.
Let me repeat here, because we cannot understand the comparative static analysis. You will discuss these things again in details in future coming chapters. But here, let me again tell you. So suppose take this. You can see this diagram. Suppose the price is, suppose let this be P1. This one where I am pointing. Let this be P1. So when the price is P1, what will be the demand? This is the demand curve. So obviously demand will be of a perpendicular. This also demand will be P1. But what is the supply? At price P1, you just see, look at this. Supply is here. It is cutting the supply curve. So supply will be, suppose let this be QS. Should I draw the diagram, or you can understand with this diagram? Please tell me. Should I draw another diagram in the whiteboard, or you can understand with this? Here I am telling one thing. So for roll number 1 to 10, today now for 10 minutes or for 15 minutes, roll number 1 to 10, you keep your phones or my mics or sound system on mute, so that I will ask you and I can receive reply from you. All of you have kept your, if you all of you will onboard, then it will be difficult for me to take the class. The more disturbance will be there. Now I am asking 1 to roll number 1 to 10, you keep your microphones on mute, so that I will ask you questions. So how you are drawing this? Let me now you can see the, so this is the y-axis, and y-axis represents the price, and we are having the, then suppose x-axis represents the quantity, suppose this is the demand curve, and this is the supply curve. Okay, and previously the equilibrium was at this point, E, this is the point E for the equilibrium was. And now what will be the price, equilibrium price? Just drop a perpendicular, from this equilibrium point to on y-axis, that will give you the price point, and drop a perpendicular from this equilibrium point to the x-axis, that will give you the quantity amount. Okay. If there will be, suppose the price is, there's some change in, we are discussing about, there is some change in the income of the consumer. This was the equilibrium or original equilibrium. We are taking quantity on this, taking quantity on the here, and we are taking price on the, okay, the y-axis. So what we are doing, when there will be, this is the original equilibrium point. Suppose what is the, we have discussed excess supply and we have not discussed excess demand. Let me again discuss that. So what was happening in the equilibrium, suppose why there will be no equilibrium if the price is different. Okay, suppose the price is P1. Here the price is, suppose the price is high or price is suppose P1. Price is P1, you can take two situations. One is price is P1, another suppose situation we are taking price is P2. Let us see what will happen. P1 16. This is P2. P. Okay. And this is equilibrium point E. Equilibrium point E. So the equilibrium is attained at the point where I have told you that demand is, this is the demand curve, the supply curve, this, and this is the demand. Okay. So when the price instead of P, it will be P1. So what will be the demand? What will be the demand? Just look at this. What will be the demand? Just drop a perpendicular from this. Now this price line P1 is cutting the demand curve at this point. Is cutting the demand curve at this point. So from this point, drop a perpendicular on the x-axis. Suppose that is Q1. Suppose this is QD1, QD1, QD1. So demand will be OQD1. Demand will be OQD1. So what will be supply? But supply is not OQD1. Supply will be just extend this perpendicular to the supply line. Here it is cutting it. Now drop a perpendicular from this point. This will be the supply. Amount supplied at price P1. And you told that we have discussed this thing. There will be excess supply because at this point QS1 or QS is more than the QD. QS is more than QD. Quantity supplied is more than quantity demanded. So obviously there is excess demand. This is the case where there is excess demand. This much, by this much. Suppose this is E1 and this is suppose E2. So by the amount E1, E2, there is excess demand. Sorry, excess supply. At price P1, there is excess supply. At this by this amount. At price P1, demand is OQD1, supply is OQS1, and so QD1, QS1 or E1, E2 is the amount of oversupply. Is the amount of oversupply. So when there will be oversupply in the market, there will be competitions amongst the suppliers, and this competition will result in decreasing the price of the commodity. So that this competition will result in decreasing the price of the commodity, and price will finally fall to the point where demand is equal to supply. So if the price will fall, what will happen? Demand will increase, supply will decrease. When the price will fall, demand will increase and supply will decrease. So gradually there will be equilibrium where demand is equal to supply. Same case. Similarly, the case of excess demand. Suppose price is P2, not P. Price is P2, not P. So what will happen? At price P2, just extend this perpendicular to the demand. What will be the demand? It is cutting here. Demand is, suppose Q prime. Demand is Q prime. What is supply? This is the supply curve. Supply is Q double prime. This is Q double prime is the supply. Q double prime is the supply. So what is here in this case, quantity demand at price P1, quantity demanded is more than the quantity supplied. Is more than quantity supplied. Got the point? So there is excess demand amongst the buyers. So what is the amount of excess demand? Who can say? Roll number 1. Roll number 1. Switch.
Yes, ma'am.
Switch on your. Have you switched on your video? All of you. Payal, you have switched off your video.
Yes, ma'am.
I have from the beginning, and your dean has also told you, instructed you to switch on your video throughout the class. So why others, Khandelwal, you have also switched off. Why I have to remind you always? Same thing should not. There should not be repetition of the same thing that again and again. So Payal, tell me what is the amount of excess demand at price P2? Can you see the whiteboard? Can you see me drawing? Can you see it? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
What is the amount of excess demand? What is demand? You tell me what is the amount of demand at price P2? You can say raise your hands. What is the amount of demand at price P2?
Ma'am, Q dash.
OQ dash, OQ prime or OQ dash is the amount of demand. So what is the amount of supply?
OQ double prime.
OQ double prime. So what is the Abranil? So then tell me what is the excess demand?
Ma'am, it is OQ dash minus OQ double dash.
Okay, very good. So this is the amount of excess demand. Then the question comes, what happens when there will be excess demand? There will be, when there is excess demand, what will happen?
And competition among the buyers.
Competition.
Price.
Price will increase.
Yes, yes. First will be, that will be competition amongst the buyers, because there is more demand, less supply. There will be competition amongst the buyers to get the product, and that competition will raise the price of the commodity. And that, and so when the price will increase, obviously supply will be increased, demand will fall, and gradually the equilibrium will be at the point where demand is equal to supply. Finally, we will reach at this point. Again, there will be increase in price of the commodity. Finally, the price will settle at price P. Okay, this much. Okay, now got the point for how equilibrium is added.
Yes.
All of you understood? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Now we have to discuss what happens when there is, and when, remember one thing, when we are discussing this, drawing this demand curve, we are only showing the relationship. This is a two-dimensional diagram. What we are analyzing, we are showing the relationship between price and quantity. Other things, but the quantity demanded. Similarly, when we are drawing the supply curve, we are showing the relationship between price and quantity supplied. We are keeping other things constant. We are not taking into consideration the other things. But besides price, there are also other things which affect demand and supply. For example, if you want to, demand for a commodity depends upon, what are the other factors you can say? Raise your hands. I want to see how many of you are active and you are participating in the discussion. What are the other factors on which, besides price of the commodity, suppose you want to purchase apple, what other things are also the factors which determine how much you will purchase?
Income,
And
excuse me,
taste
ma'am.
and preferences.
Income. Then
Government,
raise your
government rules and regulations.
government rules and regulations. Okay. Yes. People, you say.
Ma'am, taste and preferences of the customers.
Taste and yes, taste of the consumers. Okay, very good. Then what more?
Ma'am, ma'am, supplementary goods, ma'am. Price of the supplementary goods.
Actually, there's the supplementary goods, related goods, you can say. We should say related goods. Kausali, you are also raising your hands. Tell me what do you want to say?
Price of substitute goods.
Price of which are substitutes? Do you have any idea regarding substitutes? Just give an example.
Ma'am, suppose if the price of tea reduces, then the demand of coffee may increase.
Reduce, if the price of the substitute reduces, then demand for coffee will increase.
No, demand will decrease.
Decrease because customers will substitute, will go for more tea.
Go for more tea.
Substitutes, price of the substitutes falls means the demand for the commodity will fall. And complements, yes, in case of complements, if the price increases, then
The
the
reverse.
increases and it falls, and the same. Okay, so now you have understood about how equilibrium is attained. Okay, then question comes. I have told you that when there is demand, we are drawing the relationship between demand and price. We are keeping other things to be constant. We are not discussing, or we are not taking into account the other factors. We are not taking into account the income. We are not taking into account the taste and habit of the consumer. We are not taking into account the price of substitutes and complements. We are not discussing those things. We have kept those things to be constant, because simultaneously it is not possible to see what will happen. For example, suppose price of the commodity has increased, as well as the income of the consumer has also increased. In that case, what will happen? So obviously the demand, what will be the demand, that will depend upon, again, you cannot say in certainty that the demand will decrease, isn't it? So for that reason, at this stage, only remember this much. In future, we shall discuss in details. When we shall take into consideration any other factor besides price, we shall show this through a shifting of the demand curve or shifting of the supply curve. If the demand for the commodity increases, then the demand curve will shift to the right. If the demand for the commodity will decrease, for the impact of the other factors, we will show it by the shifting of demand curve to the left. Similarly, if the supply will increase, we will show it by shifting the supply curve to the right. If the supply will decrease, we will show it by shifting to the left. For example, suppose income of the consumer increases. In that case, we have to show this. Suppose income has increased, we have to show this by the shifting of the demand curve to the right, like this. Sorry. Suppose income has increased. So income increases means this will now this will be the suppose the income has been increased in such a way, so the demand curve has been shifted from D to D1. There will be increase shifting up to the right. Suppose income has been decreased, income of the other things remaining same, price has remained same. The income of the consumer has decreased because of lockdown. So what will happen now? The demand curve will shift to the
Left side.
to the left. To the left. Even if the you just see, even if the price is at P, still the demand for commodity will decrease by some amount because the income has been decreased. Even price remains constant. Okay. So my point is, whenever we will discuss the impact of other factors, you can, if there is increase of the demand, we can show it by shifting of the demand curve either to the right. If there is decrease in the demand, we have to show it by the shifting of demand curve to the left. Similarly, if the suppose production, we are discussing about the product supply. Supply suppose also depends upon, besides the price, also depends upon the government policy that you have told. Government policy. So government is suppose is providing subsidy for that. So in that case, what will happen? Even the price is same, the supply curve will shift to the right. To the right. Suppose there will be excess tax on the product. There will be some control in the suppose the there will be less rainfall. Even if you can take, there will be less rainfall because all of our agricultural products depend upon the monsoon. So we are depending heavily upon monsoon. Suppose you are assuming that if the rainfall is good, then the production is good. If the rainfall is bad, then the production will hamper. So there is a drought situation. In that case, what will happen? The supply curve will shift to the left. To the left in this way. Okay. Got the point?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Okay. Yes, yes.
Ma'am, the supply curve will move upward or right? Means
to the right. To the right, so upward means this will decrease. Upward here it is right means this shows increase. You just imagine one situation. Let me explain you. Only one diagram you can show it. This is becoming clumsy. Only I am drawing the supply curve. Only I am drawing the supply curve. Okay, then only it will be clear. Suppose this is demand. This is price, this is quantity. So this is the supply curve. Okay, supply curve. You just see, imagine one price. Suppose this is the price. So where will be the supply? Supply will be at this point. Just drop a perpendicular from this. Drop a perpendicular. This will be the supply, isn't it? So increase in supply means, you just see, imagine another situation. In this way, supply curve is shifting to this point. You just see to the right, up, down. It is not up, down. Up. When the demand curve is sloping downward, we are saying it is shifting right means it is shifting to the upside. But supply curve is shifting is like this. So it should shift to the right. You just see when it is shifting to the right, even if the price is same, but what is happening to the quantity supplied?
Increasing.
It increases. We are showing the increase in supply, so it should shift to the right, not up down, but remember the word right. It should be shift to the right. Okay. Now the supply is increased. Okay. Similarly, it will shift to the left. This is shifting to the left. Supply curve shifting to the left. Left means even if the price is same, you just see, look at this point. Even if the price is same, the supply has been decreased to from the previous position to this level. This is the supply. Now there's okay, got the point? Now am I clear about this shifting of the supply curve to the right or left?
yes.
Okay. So now this is same thing under comparative static analysis. We have to see what is the impact of the exogenous factor. That means what happens when the constant things, variables that we have assumed already, that changes. That changes. For example, suppose you are taking the case of a market equilibrium, consumer equilibrium point, and but the consumer is suppose already he has decided to purchase Q amount of commodity, but his income has been increased. His income has been increased. Okay. And so increase. So what will happen in that case? The demand curve will shift to the right. If the income of the consumer has increased, the demand curve will shift to the right. Okay. Let me draw the original situation. Suppose this is the original situation. This is the original situation. Suppose the demand, the income of the consumer, this is the original equilibrium point. I am not naming it because actually I am not that much comfortable with this. When I am just going through this text, it is becoming very problem. Now, can you understand? Is there any problem without naming the points? But you should name the points. Whenever you will do any diagram, without nomenclature, without marking the axis is meaningless. The diagram is totally meaningless. We have to actually write here. Always don't forget to write your price, and here write, you just write was quantity. Always name the axis, or because in a graph or diagram, unless the axes are marked, it is totally meaningless. The diagram is meaningless. Okay. So this is price, this is quantity, we have to mark it. Then suppose this is the price P1. Price is P1, and here quantity is Q1. Q1 is the quantity. Okay. This is the equilibrium quantity already we have. Okay. Now suppose we are assuming this is the stability situation. Now we are assuming situation where the income of the consumer has been increased. Income of the consumer has been increased. Then what will happen? What will have income of the consumer increases means demand curve will shift to the
Demand will increase.
demand will increase. That means demand that will be shown by shifting of the demand curve to the right. To the right. This is right, upward. Demand curve will shift to the right, showing increase in demand. Showing increase in demand for the commodity because of increase in income, demand curve will shift to the right from position D to position D1. From position D to position D1. D1. Okay. Then what will be price? Can the equilibrium price now be P1? Can it be now P1? So what will the equilibrium price and quantity? Now equilibrium that depends upon the intersection point between the new demand curve and the old supply curve. So the point is E1. The point is suppose E. This was E. Now the equilibrium position will shift from position E to E1. From position E to E1. Okay. But so similarly, accordingly, what will happen? Now the endogenous variables were price and quantity. Exogenous variable was income was exogenous variable. Isn't it? Income was on constant optimization. We have discussed this thing. Income was given, and accordingly we have found out what will be the equilibrium price and quantity. Now income has been changed. So exogenous value variable has been changed. So obviously, when the exogenous variable changes, that also has impact on the endogenous variable. So what will happen? Then the demand curve will shift to the right. The new equilibrium position will shift from E to E1, and accordingly, price will just drop a perpendicular from this to the y-axis. That will give you the price, new price, and again drop a perpendicular from the this equilibrium, new equilibrium point on the x-axis. That will give you the quantity. That will give you the quantity. Now the new quantity will be how much? New quantity is Q2. Q2 is the new quantity and P2 is the new price. New price is P2. Okay, got the point? So now come to this other examples. Let us see what will happen. Now, can you see the PPT containing this diagram? Are you able to see it? No?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
Okay. Now can you see it? Aniket? Aniket? Can you
Yes,
see?
ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, it is not totally visible.
Not totally visible.
No, ma'am.
Now, still not.
No, ma'am.
Ma'am, close your video once and then start.
I think as it is already whiteboard is there, for that reason it is not. So, now can you see it?
Yes, ma'am.
It is fully seen, visible totally. Aniket,
Ma'am,
Yes.
whiteboard is visible.
whiteboard is visible. Why
Yes,
this is-
ma'am.
Now, whiteboard gone. Whiteboard disappeared now.
Yes, ma'am.
Why this is coming again and again? I don't understand this. Now, can you see it now?
No, ma'am.
Now I think it is clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So now just look at this diagram. When there is comparative static analysis is used to examine how a change in the exogenous variable results in the value of the endogenous variable we are going to discuss. And here just see this, it has been shown by shifting of the demand curve to the right when there is increase in demand. And here both things have been done. How the equilibrium is changing and how the value of the endogenous variables are also changing. Both the supply curve and the demand curve has been changed here, and accordingly, finally, where the equilibrium will be, that depends upon the position of the demand curve and position of the supply curve. Okay. Now let us do some problem. This problem we have done in the last class, I think. No. Have we done this problem? No. Let us see. Okay. Just to read this problem that I have written here, the PPT. A farm produces cellular. Do you have your notebook with you? Just always,
ma'am.
whenever you are reading any problem, when you are going to work out certain problem, write the important things, just what you want to find out, what is given and what you have to do. So if you use the notebook, then it will be easier to solve the problems. Just to write it down, what is given. So what is given? A farm produces cellular telephone service using equipment and labor. And when it uses e-machine hours of equipment and hires L persons per hour for labor, it can provide Q units of telephone service. The relationship between Q, E, and L is as follows. So what is given? Given is L and E are endogenous variables which are to be decided. Q is the level of output that what is the objective of the producer is to produce Q or output. And what is the relationship? What is the price of the E and L? Price of E is PE, price of L is PL. Price of E is PE and price of L is PL. Okay. Then how much he has to produce? He has to produce at least 200 units of output. So he has to produce at least 200 units of output. Okay. So his output must not be less than 200 units. So Q must be greater than or equal to 200 units. So now tell me, what is the objective of the producer? He wants to purchase Q amount. Again, I am repeating. He wants to purchase Q amount of output with E and L, and he has to pay PE for E and PL for L unit, 1 unit of L, and accordingly he wants to produce the output in such a way, 200 units or such a way, so that he will minimize the cost of producing it. He wants to produce this 200 units of output with the minimum cost. Okay, then tell me, what is the objective of the function of the farm owner or the producer? What is his objective?
To achieve the production target.
You raise your hand. So that it will be better for me to know how many of you are active in the class. Okay. What is the objective? Anandita Sain?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
The objective is to minimize the cost while achieving the production target.
Very good. So his objective is to minimize cost. Anyone differ, but that's right answer. Very good. So 100% correct. The objective of the producer is to minimize cost. Then the next question is, what is the constraint? What is the restriction? Who can say? Raise your hand.
Quantity.
You raise your hand. I want to know how many of you are participating, how many of you are dozing, sitting at home. Payal. Okay, Payal.
To produce 200 units of telephone service.
Very good. To produce 200 units of output. Okay. Then what are the endogenous variables? What are the Sultana? To tell. What are the endogenous variables?
Ma'am, E and L.
PE and PL. PE and PL are endogenous variables. What are again? You are not audible properly. Speak again. What are endogenous variables? You are not audible, beta. Actually, you are not audible. Anybody else can say what are the
E and L are endogenous.
E and L. Okay, that's correct. P and endogenous variables are those variables whose values we have to determine. We are going to determine the values. We are going to determine the value of what is the amount of E and amount of L he has to hire to produce Q amount of output with minimum cost. So E and L are endogenous variables. What are the exogenous variables?
Ma'am, Q, PE and PL.
Q.
Yes. Q, PE and PL are exogenous variables. Very good. So now can you write the statement of the constant optimization problem? Can you write it? Always in the constant optimization problem we have objective function, then given the constant. So what is objective? Minimize cost. Minimization of cost is the objective, but what is the cost function? Can anybody say? What is the cost function? Who can say the cost function? He has to minimize cost. What will be the cost? What will be his cost? What will be his cost? No one? Just think a little. You know it. All of you know it. What is cost? Why he has to bear cost? Why he will bear cost? Aniket, why he will bear cost? Why he will bear cost?
To achieve the production target.
No. How? Why you will be able to achieve the production target? No doubt. But how you will pay? How will cost your cost?
Machine and labor.
For hiring machine and labor. For hiring machine and labor. So for hiring machine and labor, so that will mean he wants to minimize the cost, means he wants to pay less to machine and labor. So how much he has? What will be the cost function then? How much he has to pay for the machine? How much he will have to pay for the machine? No. Suppose the price of labor is 5 rupees. I am hiring 20 units of labor. How much I have to pay? Suppose how much I have to? The price of labor is, Aniket, I am asking you, on price of labor is 5 rupees. Wage rate is 5 rupees. I am hiring 20 units of labor. So how much I have to pay?
Ma'am, 100.
100 rupees I have to pay. Okay. Same way, just if the price of labor is PL, price of equipment is PE. So what will be the cost? Hansraj? Price of labor is PL and price of equipment is PE. What will be the cost to the producer? Who can say? Raise your hands. What will be the cost of hiring labor and machine? What will be the cost?
Cost equals to PL. No, ma'am.
Cost, Isa will speak. Isa,
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, cost is equal to PL into PE.
then plus there will be some plus PL into P. No. PL into P. No, that is wrong. PL into P not.
E into PE plus L into PL.
Right. Cost will be P into E. That will be the amount of payment that he will make for the machine. PE into E will be the amount of payment he has to make for the machine. PE is the per unit payment. E is the amount he has had. So total amount will be P into E. Then for machine and for labor is PL into L. So total cost function will be PE into E plus PL into L. Now got the point? So now his objective function is minimize PE into E plus PL into L, subject to what? Subject to what is constant? Subject to minimize. Now we are writing D. We are answering question bit D. Write the statement of the constant optimization problem. Objective is to minimize C cost, which is equal to P into E plus PL into L, subject to or given Q is greater than or equal to 200. Q is greater than or equal to 200. Okay. Now come to next problem. Come to next problem. Suppose there is drought. For that reason, the supply has been decreased. Can you show it? Can you know? Suppose how to show it by drawing a graph. What will be its impact on the endogenous variable? Because of drought and cold weather, which caused production to decrease, resulting in increase in price. How to show this? Can anybody draw? Do it, and whenever I am giving you 2 minutes. After 2 minutes, you will show me. Right, and draw it on your notebook. Do you got my point? Because of drought and cold weather, the production of a commodity has been decreased. Originally, there was equilibrium, price was P and quantity was Q. But because of drought and cold weather, the quantity supplied of the commodity has been decreased. What will happen to the equilibrium price and quantity?
Ma'am, it will shift to demand will shift to right side.
Demand will shift to right. Why demand will shift to right, beta? Because there is drought and cold weather that will cause in the change in the supply, not demand. Okay. That will cause the decrease in supply. No demand position will remain same. Again, I'm giving in. The demand position will remain same. There is no change in demand, but there is decrease in supply because of cold weather and okay.
Supply curve will shift to left.
To the left. So then what will happen to the price and quantity? Have you drawn the diagram? Have you drawn the diagram?
Yes,
Sir? Is show me? Show me. You just keep it like on your face. I can see. Yes. Very good. Very good. That's good. So that is, you can see that will result in decrease in quantity and increase in price. That will result in the price, equilibrium price will increase and the equilibrium quantity will decrease. Then come to the second problem. In the second problem that I have given you that, suppose you are assuming that QD depends upon price and income and QS or supply depends upon price and rain. QD depends upon or demand depends upon both price and income and supply depends upon price and rain. Then problem is what was already we have equilibrium point, price given the price and quantity supplied and demand, we have equilibrium. Suppose assume a situation where income of the consumer has been increased. Income has been increased. Similar as Hansraj has drawn the graph, all of you do the graph. I will ask anybody I will ask, then you will show the graph to me. What will happen? Once you understand the graph, once you are able to draw the graph, no problem. Then you cannot do any mistake. Just ask whenever you are going to any and give answer to any economics question, just first, if there is in diagram, just draw the diagram, understand it, then everybody will come as will flow from that diagram. Okay. So our problem is given D and S are given, but there is now income of the consumer has been increased. What will happen? Income of the consumer will increase. What will happen?
The demand will also increase.
Demand will increase.
Demand will increase. Very good. Demand will increase. So demand will shift to the
Right.
right. It will shift to the right. Then show me. You draw the diagram. What will happen to
Done.
price and quantity? Draw it, and then raise your hand. I will ask, or whomsoever I will ask, you just show it. Once you draw this, the concept will be totally clear. Abhishek. Abhishek showing.
Yes, ma'am.
Have you drawn the diagram? Ayush. Ayush Mishra. Show it to me. No, you are also not visible. You are not visible to me.
My camera is on.
Is on. Now I can only Payal and Hansraj. Others can see Ayush. Answers, can you see Ayush?
No, ma'am, but the video is on.
This video is on. Okay. Aniket, you show me your Aniket. What you have done? Aniket,
Yes, ma'am.
show your diagram. Yes. Because of income. What you have done? You have shifted which curve? Again, show it clearly. Show it
Yes,
clearly.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Income has been increased. So in this case, supply will remain same. There is no change in supply. Change. So why you have demand? Demand will change. Why you have changed the supply?
That was another question, ma'am. I have drawn in one curve, one diagram. That's
Okay, okay, okay. So I will do it separately so that it will be clear. Okay.
okay, ma'am.
Okay. Now you got the point. So whenever there will be increase in income, the demand will shift to the right. So now equilibrium shift position will shift, and accordingly, what will happen? Price and quantity will also change. Take another example. Suppose rainfall will increase, and we are assuming that supply depends upon price and rainfall, and increase in rainfall will result in increase in supply of the commodity. Suppose there is more rainfall. In that case, what will happen? Supply curve will shift to
Left.
Left.
Left means decrease. Left means decrease.
Right words.
Right. Right means increase. Left means decrease. Just see, draw a diagram. You can see at the same price the supply will decrease. It will shift to the left. Because of rainfall, supply has been increased. So it will be shown by a shifting of the supply curve to the right. Remember, always repeat this in your mind. When there is increase, right, decrease, left. As the supply is like this, so the increase, shift, decrease to the left position. Okay. Here is supply is upward sloping. Increase means right, decrease means left. Demand, this is the demand position. Increase means right, decrease means left. Okay, got the point? So increase, decrease. So whenever there will be increase in demand, the demand curve will shift to the right. Decrease in demand, it will left. Increase in supply to right, decrease in supply to left. So when there is increase in rainfall, there will be increase in supply. Increase in supply means the supply curve will, demand curve will remain same, and supply curve will shift to the right. Okay. Now you can see what will be its impact on the quantity and the price. Now you can just go through these examples that I will share the PPT with you. You can just go through these problems. That is, what will happen if the booming demand by China on the world economy? What will happen when the financial crisis, and when there is reduction in sectarian violence? You can just do some other problems. The basic is when there is, if the factor is having positive impact on the demand will shift to the right. If negative impact, it will shift to the left. Similarly, if the factor has having positive impact on the supply will shift to the right, and if negative, then the left. Okay. So now let us take a break till 10:45. Now it is 10:33. Now we can take the break of 15 minutes. Then we will start the class.